Well, welcome to ESPC. What a great event in one of the best cities in the world. The team and I are so excited to be with you this week. It's such an exciting time. Clearly, we're going to share a lot, but we have a lot to learn too. We're in a new sea change of AI, and we're very excited to hear the opportunities and challenges that you see with it that we can address better. I lead, as the crew said, I lead the teams focused on collaboration in Microsoft 365. We've been on quite a journey together from evolving Office from single user to multi-user, bringing it to the cloud, working through the pandemic together with teams, and then now with AI and Copilot. And it is an exciting time. But I want to echo what Kevin said, and huge thanks to Kevin and team. You know, when an event like this goes so well, it's a sign, it looks like it's no work at all, but Kevin and team really do a fabulous job. And it's one of the reasons 50 of us come every year, is because they work so hard to create a great event for all of you. Thank you so much for the sponsors and the speakers. As he highlighted, we're very grateful for our families at Thanksgiving time, and then we get up from the table and get on an airplane to come to Europe because we're so excited to see all of you, and I appreciate all the work from the folks coming from the States for that, because we are very, very thankful for the best community in tech. It's something we didn't really fully understand at the beginning. We knew that if you were going to build collaboration tools, they should embody the values, the team and the customers and partners that work on them together. And sure enough, the best, most collaborative community in tech has helped us strive to build better and better collaboration tools for all of you. And that community is more valuable than ever, not just to get together at events like this or local events around the world and learn about the latest technologies. But I think the thing that's magical, and I saw it at the hotel the last couple of days at breakfast, is you run into people that you've known for a decade, 2 decades, and you've made colleagues and friendships. And that's really what attracts us to coming back to this event, is people who have a shared passion for these tools that help their organizations be more productive. And so thank you so much. It is, we were talking before we went on, some of the product managers and I, about these events or their predecessors 15, 20 years ago. And in some way, those events were easier because we had 3 years of pent-up news that we'd been working on to reveal in one day, where now every 3 minutes there's some new blog post or announcement and so forth. But it does make it incredibly valuable to come to an event like this, to step back and catch up on the latest and learn from each other about what is the business case for these technologies, what is the cultural tools that you need to get them adopted successfully. And so I'm excited about that as well. So thank you again for being part of the best community in tech. With all the focus on AI, and we are going to talk about AI a lot in the keynote this morning, I do get asked about our global priorities, and a lot of people are surprised. We do, as any organization would, we measure how we allocate our resources. And right now on my team, thousands of people around the world, it's about 1/3 on AI, which is a big investment, but 2/3 on the core. And that really comes to the first 2 priorities for us. First, the most important thing is making sure the service, the products you bet on every day, is secure, reliable, performant, accessible, et cetera. And a huge focus goes not just at maintaining the bar for that, but raising the bar. How do we take the service from 3 nines to 4 nines? How do we take every feature to 4 nines? Big new investments that don't often get talked about and are actually the bulk of our resources to make the foundation of Microsoft 365 rock solid for you. And then on top of that, we have features that go into the base product. Some of the most important things are core experiences people do every day. How do we make meetings better? How do we make sharing better? How do we make creating SharePoint sites better, and so forth? We'll talk about a few of those this morning. And then, of course, the new greatest value that we're creating in the tools is AI. It's where the most leverage is coming in and helping people and teams be more productive. But I did want to stop and reinforce that the biggest focus and highest priority for us is the foundation of the work we're doing below the AI layer. And now let's talk about AI a little bit. We do a lot of research with customers, both organization leaders as well as a broad base of employees. And we see a huge tension going on in organizations right now. Most leaders feel under the gun to achieve business metrics, to move fast in a dynamic world, to be competitive and so forth. And most organizations say they really have a productivity challenge, that they need to move faster. But most employees say, we're overwhelmed. We have been pushed hard. Our organizations have gotten leaner. We're working very hard. These technologies are wonderful, but they also create a lot of information overload. And we got nothing else to give. We can't work harder. And so we feel a big responsibility for threading the needle on this to give people tools so they work smarter, not harder, and organizations can be more effective. And so it's really important that we don't lose sight of all the cool technology is about addressing this paradox. And I love to geek out on this stuff. We don't have time in this particular session to go all through all the details, but a lot of people, wow, the AI, the last 2-3 years, what's going on? What's going on is scaling laws, that as we give more resources to the AI models, they have emergent and more powerful capabilities. And you see this acceleration in compute in many dimensions. And there's really been 3 giant leaps. One is in pre-training. You know, when the models went from millions to billions to trillions of parameters, they could do new things. And we saw the magic of that, answering questions with natural language that sort of blew our mind a few years ago and now is old news. The second phase was the additional compute allowed us to do reinforcement learning, to say, hey, it's a good thing you learned all these words and all these languages. Let me give you some grades and put you in a feedback loop on coding or building Excel spreadsheets or coming up with plans for a marketing launch or reviewing legal documents. And that additional wave of compute that went into reinforcement learning, we're still seeing huge leaps in the potential of that. And you see this in this sort of dramatic progress in the coding agents. And then last is the reasoning models, where you don't just scale as you build the model, but you give the model more time to plan and think, if you will, and evaluate its own performance. And that's what's leading these solutions with AI to be able to go from problems that can be solved in seconds to minutes to soon even hours, where they can run unattended for a while and write applications or do workflows. And that's what we're trying to harness in Microsoft 365 for all of you. It's not the same AI technology as 2 years ago applied better. We are seeing dramatic leaps in that technology. And that's going to lead to what we've termed the frontier firm. And we have some sessions this week that talk about a lot of the details on this. But it is an exciting time for organizations to embrace this power of AI to make both the organization more effective, and probably more important for our mission in the world as a company, empowering every person on the planet, is helping everybody feel more productive, learn, grow their skills and career. And how that evolution is playing out in these frontier firms with the massive acceleration of power in the AI models integrated with our tools and your data is sort of a 3-step evolution. First, we saw Copilot, ChatGPT, its brethren, enabling one-on-one conversations with people that was pretty magical. But we know a lot of work is not one-on-one. And then people started to build agents that they could use for automating different workflows for them. An employee self-service agent or a marketing launch planning agent. But what we've been able to do in the last year, and we had a big set of announcements in September that we followed on with additional work at Ignite, is this notion of multi-user, multi-agent teams, where teams are more effective because they effectively hire AI as teammates to do some of the drudgery, to add some expertise, and help people focus on the most enjoyable parts of work, very frankly. And so frontier firms are going through that evolution, and we'll show some of the evolution of the tools that enable that this morning. And so we're going to highlight 4 areas in the keynote. First, we're going to catch you up on what we've done with Copilot. And then we're going to talk about where those person-agent teams go to work together in teams. Then we'll recap the latest on SharePoint. Of course, the most interesting things AI does is not with what the model's been trained on, but with your data in SharePoint and other data sources. And we'll talk about how we do that safely and securely. And then lastly, how you build and govern these agents with Copilot Studio and Agent 365. So we'll go through each of those this morning. We're going to start with Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot. Obviously, the big focus for the company is our showcase. Huge amount of innovation in really all 4 areas. Models. We've been embracing the latest and greatest models. We sim shipped with GPT-5 the same day it came out. We also, as you've probably seen, have started to expose Anthropic's Claude and other features. We're building our own models in some places. Teams is some of the features in Teams use our own models. So a lot of innovation there. The Copilot app, I know it's evolved a lot, but it's gotten dramatically simpler and faster in the last few months. More work's going in the user experience, new search module, new notebooks module, and more create module in the Copilot user experience. The developer platform, wow, so much since a year ago when we were on this stage, if you will, in building agents with SharePoint and Copilot Studio and Azure Foundry and our AI toolkit and more. We're really working hard to make it easier to build better agents. And last but not least, governance, a huge focus, everything from SharePoint Advanced Management to our latest work that we announced at Ignite that we'll show you in a second on Agent 365. So a huge set of innovation on Copilot across the board. And we are now past the early adopter phase. We're going to talk with a customer at the end of this session this morning, but we're now at the point where over 90% of the 500 largest organizations in the world have adopted Copilot in production in some form, and they're seeing value, but it's also an incredible feedback loop. How can the user experience, developer experience, IT experience all get better? And I hope you see each month we are listening to customers and we are bringing new capabilities into Copilot, how it integrates across Microsoft 365. So thank you for the adopters and the feedback. There's a lot to Copilot. I'm not going to do a lot of architecture diagrams this morning. It'll be fun, but we want to show you the product. But people do ask us, what is the biggest source of differentiation? And it's not the model. The models are amazing and they're making all this progress. But really where we're able to deliver value to you is integration into our applications, leveraging your data in a safe, secure way so it resides where you want it to reside. It is never, ever used to train the model in any way. It is used, you have full control of the security and compliance. It doesn't reveal to users things they don't have access to. And we've given this a few names over the years. At Ignite, we recast it as Work IQ, using your data, your memory to improve the inferencing based on what's going on in your organization. And I think this is a pretty magical difference if you compare Copilot side by side against one of the other great tools in the market, and there are many great ones. We leverage the same models, but it's the magic of how we integrate your data that makes it possible for us to deliver a better experience for all of you. So that's Work IQ at the center of this. But of course, it's not just Microsoft 365. We have connectors to dozens of systems, more coming to make sure that Copilot can comprehensively and securely answer your question and build automations that are key for agentic workflows. Okay, that's enough framing. I am very excited. We're going to switch to showing the product, including some of our very latest work. And for that, I am excited to bring to the stage Michaela Barrett from our product management team. Michaela.
Good morning. Who here has a personal assistant? Yep, me neither. But with Copilot's newest features, Work IQ, Model Choice, and Agent Mode, we might all leave here this week with our very own personal assistant. Let me go wake up my computer and show you. All right, this is the Copilot app. This pulls everything together to be that all-in-one place for all of your needs. If you follow my cursor over here to the left, you'll see that you can search across all of your content. If you go down, you can create directly here, whether it's a file, a video, or an image. And you can even talk to Copilot like it is your personal assistant. Hey, Copilot, are there any action items that need my attention today?
You've got a reminder to submit the Q3 QBR today, so that looks like it needs your attention as soon as possible.
Yes, I do need to pull that together. Can you remind me, who are the workstream leads that we identified in the last QBR meeting?
Sure. From the last QBR review meeting, the workstream leads were identified as follows. Wanda is leading the enterprise sales workstream. David is handling field sales. Adele is leading SMB sales. Miguel is responsible for solution engineering. And Mona is in charge of vertical sales. That should cover the main folks you need to coordinate with.
Can you check my emails and see if my team has actually sent me all of their individual QBRs?
You've received QBR documents from Wanda for enterprise sales, William for field sales, Miguel for solution engineering, Adele for SMB sales, and Mona for vertical sales. It looks like you do have them all on hand. Just need to put everything together now.
You just watched Work IQ's intelligence layer power that entire conversation. Copilot does not just search keywords. It reasons over all of my work data and surfaces patterns to identify what's most urgent, which for me is getting ready for this QBR. So we know that every task is different, especially when prepping for a big meeting. We have heard your feedback that you want more control. You can now choose which model you want to use for the task you're doing. Only Microsoft is offering this type of model selection. I'm going to use GPT-5 going forward to help me prepare for this QBR. I'm starting simple, just asking for some expectations and deadlines. Now, I chose GPT-5 because it is the absolute best model when I need fast and accurate synthesis across a lot of data. So what you just saw on that screen is Work IQ pulling in months of meetings, hundreds of emails, tons of files, and all of the transcripts, and GPT-5 is reasoning over it to give me this answer. If I want more detail, like what are the priorities, achievements, and risks, notice I don't need to attach any files, and I only need the one prompt. Work IQ is providing the context, and GPT-5 is doing the rapid synthesis. So I've shown you ways to collect insights, right? What's urgent, get some information back, but I need to actually build the full report. That is a super different kind of task than what I've been doing. And this is where Researcher comes in. Researcher uses deep reasoning to handle these complex multi-step tasks. So I have all these individual QBRs and the information that I need, but I want to pull them all together to make a single report. And I want this report to be ready for my leadership team. So I want it to follow the exact guidelines that we're supposed to submit. Now, just like if I hand this off to a real colleague, researcher is digesting all of that information and asking me clarifying questions. I reply, letting it know exactly what I need and the type of tone I want it to be in, and I kick it off. Now, this is Copilot acting like that true assistant. It's reasoning over a ton of sources, it's applying judgment, and it's giving me a report that is leadership ready. And you could see the different content that it's grounding in. Now, as I look at this report and I see the revenue and the sales and our margin, I want to be very prepared going into this review, and I want to come up with the cost savings that can be done. So normally, I would go and I would start looping in my finance team. We would start passing spreadsheets back and forth with a bunch of financial formulas. But now, with Copilot, I can do it all from Excel. I want to draw your attention to agent mode. This is available across Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, but I'm going to show you what it can do from Excel first. Think about vibe coding. A developer describes an outcome, and then AI fills in all the steps. We have brought that same concept to Copilot with agent mode. I just tell Excel what I want it to do, and it provides all of the steps. I like to call this vibe working. So when I submit this, the Excel agent is pulling in all of that context from the research report that I just created. And it's building the spreadsheet for me based on the latest models and all of the different information it's pulling in. This is becoming a true co-editor, right? We're working together and I can have it fully understand all of the data, the formulas, the tables, and I can even suggest, let's provide something more visual, add a chart in. Now, this is not just giving me static replies like other AI tools do. This is providing native objects inside of Excel that I can edit directly inside of the grid. With agent mode, anyone can speak Excel, and it takes minutes to get prepared. I am so happy that I got to introduce you to my personal agent. She will not be getting a single ounce of vacation during this week. And I can't wait to meet all of your personal assistants throughout this conference. Thank you. Back to you, Jeff.
Thanks, Michaela. Thank you so much. So just to recap, really 4 big things. One is the Copilot app is an all-in-one app that brings together the modules for a chat-based interface and search and create and notebooks, all in one place. Second is you see we have the latest and greatest models, including our deep partnership with OpenAI, but expanding to other models as well. Integrating voice more natively into the experience, as Michaela showed. And then something that we're really excited about, which is agent mode. We had integration with the previous generations of models, GPT-4, 5, 4, with Word, Excel, PowerPoint. But these latest models really let us unlock the full capability of the tools right inside them. And you'll see more and more Copilot standalone, as well as integrated in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all the other applications. And then agent mode being able to work natively with those applications, both within them, but also being able to go to the main Copilot app and have it start working with you to build a PowerPoint, Excel spreadsheet, Word document, et cetera. So really excited stuff on what we're doing with Copilot. But of course, we love Michaela and her assistant, but work needs to be done with multiple people and multiple agents, and that's where Teams comes into play, where we give you a streamlined, integrated tool for multi-user collaboration, chats, channels, meetings, your own applications, and so forth. And we've got really 3 big focuses for Teams. First is making it more intelligent, and we're going to show that in a bit. But also, as I reinforced at the beginning, we're continuing to invest in making Teams simpler and faster for a wide range of users. We have feedback from novice users, from power users, people using our tools for years, people switching to Microsoft 365 for the first time from other great products in the industry. And so you see us making Teams better and better for that wide range of users. And then continuing to focus on security, both within the organization and collaboration with your customers and partners, being able to do that securely in Teams. I won't go through all the UX and core product features, but I did want to highlight a few things. We've made dozens of releases, not just announcements, but releases in the last 6 months. It's been a pretty busy period for the core UX and Teams, including the ability to customize chats and channels in an integrated way, your way. This is, I'm an old school zero inboxer in Outlook. I now can zero inbox in Teams in a few minutes on my phone, get caught up, save things for later, pin my favorite channels. It's, I'm so much more productive and have much less sense of being overwhelmed even by the big organization that's Microsoft and all our channels. So a huge focus on UX, simplicity, search, notifications, and so forth. But probably the biggest feature we did in this area that we released broadly in August and September was the ability to have threads within a channel, evolving from a post-reply model to a native threads model, which has been really great, and we'll show it in some of the demos in a second, for when people and AI are working together within a channel, and you really want to have segmentation around different threads or topics, if you will, to keep the interface less cluttered. So much more to come. We just did a blog post at Ignite on performance gains in Teams. We're turning the product more and more and really excited to make it the best and most loved product in tech. But we're going to transition now to showing some of the AI innovations in Teams. Since we need multiple people to show Teams, we're going to do a multi-person demo. I'm going to hand it back to Michaela to kick off, and let's take a look at AI in Teams.
Thank you. So while preparing for QBRs are very important, my primary job is indeed building and launching products. And look, first try, we're smooth sailing. So while Jeff was chit-chatting with you guys, I ran another prompt to see how ready we are for a product launch. As we get ready for this new launch, I need my product lead, Alex, to help me. This reply is awesome. It has everything that I need to give Alex. Now, currently, I would just copy and paste this into a Teams chat. But we now have a new feature where you can create a group chat directly inside of Teams, and I can add Alex. Just like when you're taking a one-on-one chat to a group chat, you can choose how many items you want to include in that history. I'm just going to include this one. That's fine. And it's going to actually create that chat inside of Teams. So if I move over to Teams, you'll see that we have this popped up right there. We see that Copilot's been added, my prompt's there, and we see the Copilot reply so that Alex and I can work together with Copilot. So I'm actually going to ask at Alex, can you join me on stage? And there he is. Alex Weingart, everybody.
Thanks, Michaela. Hey, everybody. It's so great to be here with you all today at ESPC to talk about multi-user agents in Teams. So I'm going to go and switch over to my instance of Teams here. And what you can see here is this very same chat that Michaela created. And Copilot is here now with us as an equal collaborator. And I want to answer Michaela's question, but before I do that, like any good product leader, I want to get some insights from our customers. And so I've asked Copilot here to go and compile a couple of things here for me to do that. And what's so awesome about this is that it collects both the context in this chat and combines this with the work IQ that Jeff was talking about earlier, everything across the Microsoft graph. And the other really cool thing that it does, in addition to making it so convenient, is we really honor security and privacy. And you can see here that because I have access to things in my graph that Michaela might not, it's gonna ask me if I want to share this before just going ahead and doing it. All right, so that's really great for ad hoc collaboration. But what about things that are more durable? Well, channels, as Jeff was mentioning, are really the authoritative place for durable collaboration in teams. And so if I want to answer Michaela's question around some of these blockers for this upcoming Fiber launch, I'm going to go and do that in the channel. And this is our second agent that we've launched. It's just gotten to public preview a couple of months ago, and it's called Channel Agent. Every single channel is now born with a channel agent that has specialized knowledge. Everything in the SharePoint and group associated with that channel is right top of mind for the agent. All right. So let's go ahead and ask this agent to pull the latest issues from Jira that are labeled as a risk. And what's really cool about this is that, well, first of all, it's using the threaded replies that Jeff mentioned earlier, but it's pulling from Jira, right? And it's not a Microsoft product. And we are using Jira's MCP, right? Jira is a project management software from Atlassian, and they have an MCP. And we're going to pull in that information so that you, right in the flow of your work, can get the answers you need. And you don't need to go click out to another place in order to, for instance, figure out what the blockers are. And here we go. You can see all of the blockers right here. Now, this one in particular is concerning to me. I don't like seeing any sort of high priority risk. And I think we're going to need some more information. So I'm going to show you what I think is probably my favorite feature here. I'm going to ask the agent to schedule a meeting with Quinn and Mario. Those are my engineering and designer counterparts. And what's so cool about this, I don't know about you guys, I can't stand looking for common times for people. Everybody's so booked all the time. I don't even need to click out to my calendar and go look for people's available time. Right in the flow of my work, the channel agent is going to look at our availabilities and find the best available time for us. And the other really cool thing that it's doing, I don't even need to specify the last names. You can see here it correctly inferred the right Mario and the right Quinn right from the context that it has. I'm going to go ahead and schedule that meeting now. And now we'll sort of like imagine ourselves in the future where we're actually in this meeting. And I'm going to switch over to this meeting here. Great. I can see Quinn and Mario already in the call here. I am a little bit late to the meeting, but I think that they will forgive me. And Facilitator is the last multi-user agent that I want to show you here. And Facilitator just went to GA a couple of months ago as well, so I'm hoping you all have already used it. But if not, Facilitator is your expert on meetings. And it's going to help you stay focused in meetings and productive. Now, I'm going to show you two things right off the bat here. Firstly, Facilitator shows up as a person right in the meeting roster because it's collaborating like a person. The second thing I want to show you is you probably see this, these bars at the top here. And what Facilitator has done is it's extracted the agenda from a comment in chat and put it right at the top here and allocated the right time for it. Now, this is pretty good, but I want to make a change. So Facilitator, can you add 30 minutes for success metrics. Now, if you guys have led any launches, you know success metrics are really important. So important, in fact, that I'm going to add 30 minutes for it and basically increase the meeting by 50% here. What was really cool is it's going to automatically calculate that time and then add it to the top here. And there you go. Right, 30 minutes right at the end here. Perfect. Now, that's great for keeping you on track, but what about the productive side? Well, the two things I want to show you here. Oftentimes, we reach some outcome and we want to be able to have that documented. And so earlier, we asked facilitator to go and create this launch plan based upon the live discussion in the meeting. And you can see it's done a really nice job of it, putting together the launch schedule and more. The last thing that I'm going to show you here is around the notes. Notes are the beating heart of facilitator. I don't know about you guys, I can't stand taking meeting notes, but they're so important in order to move your business forward. And again, all from the live transcript. It is so magical to see facilitator put in these meeting notes without any effort at all. And of course, you can go in and modify them if it's made a mistake or you want to make a change, but you don't have to assign a note taker anymore. That's a thing of the past. All right, that's all for me. I think I've maybe done enough vibe working for the day. I'm gonna toss it back over to you, Jeff.
Thanks so much, Alex. Thanks. Just to recap what Michaela kicked off and Alex showed. First is we introduced Teams mode, so the ability to start a conversation in Copilot and transfer it to Teams and have an ad hoc multi-user chat. Super fun thing. We use it all the time in the team for ad hoc work. Second is for more long-term collaboration that belongs in a channel with all the tools a channel has. We have these collaborative agents, the channel agent. Every channel has a virtual teammate for the project or other activity that's embodied in the channel. Third, meetings. We all want fewer, better meetings. And the meeting facilitator agent that helps keep things organized on track, can answer questions, do work in and after the meeting. Super powerful new thing. Probably one of the best loved new features in Microsoft 365 in the last couple months since we released it. And then, as we've talked about through both sessions so far, these agents are going to run for longer and have more skills. Some of the skills will be from Microsoft 365, scheduling meetings, we showed that, making documents, adding tasks, but some will be from other systems. And so the ability for agents to call other agents with the MCP support that Alex showed is going to be a pretty powerful unlock where these Teams agents will help teams be more effective, bringing together a variety of skills. So super excited about Teams being the best place where groups of people and agents go to work. But SharePoint, the S in ESPC, pretty critical for the grounding of those agents to be really effective. And so let me talk a little bit about SharePoint. Hopefully everybody here, I don't have to do too much framing on it, but our mission with SharePoint is to make the most flexible content platform that supports a wide range of applications and data types. And you've seen that, of course, SharePoint sites, document libraries in SharePoint, the OneDrive app, bringing all those things together, lists, all sorts of new capabilities in Teams, including Teams meeting recordings and notes and so forth. And then more and more capabilities of Copilot. Copilot Pages, for example, of course, powered by SharePoint. SharePoint provides this rich, real-time, scalable, flexible collaboration platform with an object storage system that enables all these solutions. And just, we hit a huge milestone this year when we really built on this SharePoint momentum with two accelerants. One was we moved our consumer services, particularly the OneDrive consumer service, on top of SharePoint as well. So migrating hundreds and hundreds of millions of users, exabytes of data. And second is we expose SharePoint as a platform, not just for customers and their developers, but for ISVs with SharePoint embedded. And so with the growth of those two things, we passed this year over 1 billion active users of SharePoint in the cloud. An incredible milestone. I know a lot of people here were part of the community back when it was a CD-ROM and you installed on your machine. And now it's super grateful to all of you that we've been able to evolve it to a 1 billion user cloud service. But we're not done. Great collaboration, great compliance. A lot of focus we have now is making SharePoint an incredible store for AI, and that really comes in 3 areas. First is, as you saw in some of the demos that Michaela showed, making it a great store, integrating, enabling Work IQ for discovering and asking and finding information. But more and more as the agents get more powerful, we're realizing AI and SharePoint can do things people never really liked to do, which is organize document libraries and websites and enrich them. And that makes Copilot better, and you'll see a bit of that from Zach in a second. And then these latest wave of these reasoning models that can do planning, can write code and build things. And guess what? They can build great SharePoint sites, great SharePoint applications. So we're really excited about AI, not just being about Q&A, but about building and organizing things as well. So we're looking to make sure that that is an evolutionary, simple experience within a SharePoint UI. You'll see it in here in a second where there's just a button that you can click on and get the latest SharePoint AI skills. We call that the knowledge agent. And let me, at this point, hand it over to Zach, who's going to give you a quick tour of some of the latest knowledge agent capabilities in SharePoint. Zach.
All right, I am so excited to be here talking about the latest member of the SharePoint family, the Knowledge Agent, which went into public preview back in September. Now, I think this audience knows SharePoint can be full of really rich, valuable information, but sometimes it's a little disorganized and chaotic. The Knowledge Agent is your intelligent content curator, helping you to keep your content organized, enriched, and AI ready. I'm gonna give you a quick tour. So the Knowledge Agent, when enabled, lives here in the bottom right corner of the screen. You can see that it understands that this is a library and that I'm an owner on this library. And so it offers things like organize, creating automation, setting up new views. If I select a Word document, the Knowledge Agent will set up quick actions here for me to summarize, create an FAQ, things I might want to do on that document. If I select multiple files, again, the Knowledge Agent is contextually aware, understands that I've selected multiple files, and again, quick prompts me to options that are relevant to those files. If I jump over to a portal, you'll notice the Knowledge Agent still lives here, and again, offers actions relevant to the content I'm looking at, like summarize this page. And I can always ask a question, which brings up the full chat side-by-side experience where I can interact with the content that I'm looking at. But right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually improve this site, which brings up a set of skills from the Knowledge Agent to help me identify broken links on the page, retire stale pages that maybe people aren't using anymore, or one of my personal favorites, finding gaps. Here it's found that people are searching for a particular set of terms and are not able to actually find their answer on this site. And so the Knowledge Agent has an idea of how we might address that, why it's happening, and in this case, it's actually found that the answer the users want is in this document. And so it's got quick links to help me create a section and start answering that question for users who need it. I'll do that later. Right now, I'm gonna get my team's expenses in order. So here we have a document library where my team has been uploading their expense sheets. Some are well-formed, but some, they're a little raw. Here, handwritten, there's a thumb in the picture. Trying to make sense of all of this would take me a lot of time. But right now, I can leverage the Knowledge Agent. So I will choose to organize this library, which is gonna bring up a fully immersive preview experience where I can chat with the Knowledge Agent about what I wanna see. In this case, I have a very specific query I want to run. So what this is doing is it is extracting the transaction date, the vendor name, and the total spend. So I'm hands off the keyboard here. The knowledge agent has now creating the prompts to extract that information from those documents. It's running it against this set of files here in the preview experience and actually will show me the output that it has. So I don't have to do this by hand anymore. I can let the knowledge agent do this for me. Even better, when I hit save, I have now hired the knowledge agent to do this for every new file that gets added to this library. I don't have to do it myself. That can take just a minute, so for the sake of time, I'm going to jump over to this library where I've already run that exact same process, and so you'll see the vendor name, transaction date, total spend. I want to make use of this rich metadata now. So I'm going to go ahead and create an agent grounded in this library. I'll give it a name. Let's Java expenses, and I'll hit create. This AI agent, I can now obviously chat with it directly, but even better, why don't I bring it over to Teams where the team and I have actually been talking about our expenses. And so I will add this agent into the chat. And once it gets added, so here I can add it, it's now accessible not just to me, but to all the members of this conversation. And so we can talk with this, we can leverage the metadata that the knowledge agent extracted against those files. And again, it's grounded in that folder. So new files, as they get added, will automatically show up as in this grounding set. So I'm going to @mention the agent, and I will ask it, wrong prompt. How many expenses were there in Q3? And so here I am leveraging that data set. The agent is actually typing, and when it shares back, again, it won't share it back just with me, but with this whole conversation. Any of these users now in the chat have access to this, and we can have multiple agents in here, so you can ask different questions of different experiences. And here it is. It's reviewed the data, so those invoices that we had no idea what we were looking at are now understandable and actionable data sets. So I hope you enjoyed the quick tour. I want to share 2 announcements just in case you missed them from Ignite. First of all, the SharePoint agents are now managed the same way you do the rest of your M365 agents. So anywhere that you want to control your admin settings for agents, you'll now see them in the M365 Admin Center. And then if you missed it, please do check out the brand new SharePoint Admin Agent, which will help you manage your storage, your content lifecycle, and manage permission sprawl and a whole lot more. That's available now in preview. And so with that, I'll hand it back to Jeff. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. All right. A lot of SharePoint goodness, but more to come. Next year, March 2nd, 2026, is the 21st anniversary of when we first shipped to SharePoint, using the dates, as we say in the US, 3, 2, 1. And if you liked what Zach showed, we've got much more coming in the next few months. We're going to have a big party globally, virtually, with the best community in tech. So mark this on your calendar, March 2nd, 2026. Excited and grateful to celebrate our 25th birthday. All right, now let's shift to the last section of demos, which is the key area of platform and governance for AI and agents. Just to give you a sense of the scale, it is early stages for all this, but already people have built over 1 million agents, either with SharePoint or with Copilot Studio for a variety of applications and solutions. Just like SharePoint sites, some are great, some are experiments, we're all learning, but it's clear customers are seeing more and more value for building agents for their particular process. 1 million sounds like a lot. IDC is saying what a lot of other analysts are saying is there'll be more agents in the workforce than there are people, because the potential of these models to do work and to augment people and teams and processes is incredible. So we'll have over 1 billion, if not billions, of agents that are built. And of course, that needs a governance solution. It's something I've learned in Teams and SharePoint. You allow people to create 1 billion SharePoint sites or 1 billion Teams channels. It's pretty important to have a great governance solution from that. So with those things and our experience with Power Platform, we announced Agent 365 at Ignite, which is the control plane for agents. A lot of focus here. We won't go through it all this morning. We've got some drill down sessions here this week on it that talks about how you'll be able to see and inspect all these agents, manage what content and systems they have access to, be able to visualize that access and track the usage and insights on those. So a really comprehensive control plane from agents, which we've heard very clearly from all of you is something very critical in order for you to run this safely and securely. As with the rest of the sections, it's better to see it than talk about it. So I'm very excited to bring back Michelle Bowman to the stage, who's going to show the latest on Agent 365. Michelle.
How's everyone doing? You good? Yeah? A little quiet. Everyone okay? That's a lot better. I saw something interesting when Jeff showed the 1.3 billion agents IDC prediction. I saw a little bit of an internal debate happening with some of you. You know in those movies when you see like a good cop, bad cop pop up on each shoulder? That happened to you as well. On your left shoulder, I saw a very excited end user. It was like, I cannot wait to use all of this, let me try it now. And then on your right shoulder, I saw the IT admin. And it was like, are we allowing this tenant-wide? I get it. In the next couple of minutes, I want to make both of you happy. Is that all right? Good stuff. So let's go over to the demo machine. Every organization is a little bit different. And so at some point, you want to go out and create your own agents. And creating your agent has become as easy as creating your own spreadsheet these days. Let me show you. This is a Copilot Studio. This is the new homepage. Let's go ahead and let's create our first agent. So let's create the agent. This is going to take a couple of seconds. Then you'll see that Copilot will prompt you and advise you to add triggers, add knowledge, or even add a tool. I can do it here, but let me jump into an agent that we use as a team, and it is the travel and expense agent. So when someone on the team wants to travel, they talk to the agent, and the agent then approves. As you can see, you can select different models. In this case, we'll select GPT-5. It's a very basic agent, so we've given it basic instructions as well. It looks at the budget, etc. Then we pointed it to a SharePoint page with the travel policies. And then we gave it a couple of tools to do specific tasks on our behalf. And in this case, it is Excel. And just like that, we build an agent. And like the travel and expense agent, we also have a marketing insights agent. We have an insight agent in general. And instead of having to chat to all of these different agents, you can simply build one agent and then give it access to a whole network of different agents like I've done here. So now we have the AI-powered workplace agent, and let me just kick off this prompt. And what it'll do essential agent-to-agent orchestration. So the agent will figure out which other agent to speak to, and in this case, on the left-hand side, you can see that it's speaking to all three agents. Is that exciting or what? Yep, good stuff, right? So hopefully the end user and you somewhat satisfied. Now let's talk to the nervous IT admin, because really, you want one single control plane where you can control your agents similar to the way that you control your users. So let's see if we can do that in Agent 365. So this is the Agent 365 homepage. You can see Zava, poor Contoso and Megan, by the way. Zava has 126,000 different agents. If we look at the right-hand side of this display, you see all the trending agents by active users. You see the researcher that Michaela showed earlier. You see a Copilot agent, but you also see a Workday agent. If we come over to the left, you can see the Microsoft agents, the Workday agents. In the middle, you see that it's also touching on some Google and ServiceNow services. So this is a great initial view. Now we can see the different top actions. But what I want to do is I want to see all the agents that actually give us a risk. So let's go to the inventory and let's explore all the agents. And of course, we don't have to look at 126,000 different agents because that would not really make sense. But let's look at this. Let's look at the ones that are at risk because I think those are the most interesting at this point. So let's click in here. There we go. Yep. Let's look at let's pick Java support all the way on the bottom. Let's see what's going on here. You see that this was created by Mona. There is one security risk. Let's look at the data and tools, security and compliance. Oh, abnormal sign-in frequency, very tricky. Let's take a quick look at the permissions here. Let's see what's going on. I don't trust it. Let me block this agent, and then I'll go back to the one that created it to see what they're trying to achieve. The next thing, if an agent needs elevated access, it comes in through the request menu. So let's click on request and let's focus on this staffing agent. And let's see if we can publish this right here on stage. So again, the overview created by John. Let's look at the data and tools real quick. OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams. Yep, security looks fine. Let's look at the permissions real quick before we publish this. So let's go to permissions. Looks good to me. Let's hit publish, and let's publish this agent for the users to actually use this one. So just like that, we publish, and there we go. Last thing I want to show you is something that I really love, and this is the map overview. So here you get a total overview of all the different connections that your agent is making. Let's go to that same agent again. We find it in Azure Foundry. Now let me bring my mouse over here. There we go. And we can see it's using Researcher, something in Copilot Studio, and then some external resources as well. As you can see, you get a lot of insight to make a good decision as an IT admin. How you like that? Is that good? Okay. I only had 5 minutes on stage, but if there's one picture you want to take today, it's a picture of this slide. Happy to see. Put your phones back after this, by the way. It's this one slide. We have 6 amazing sessions on Agent and Agent 365 for now. Thank you so much. Let's hand back over to Jeff.
Thanks, Michelle. All right. Now let's talk about the business case and adoption for this. As I shared at the beginning, hundreds of thousands of organizations adopting Copilot and AI in their organizations to help them transform work. I am excited. We're going to get a chance to talk to one of them, one of our strongest advocates, John Ware from British Airways is going to join us here, and we're going to talk about their journey with Microsoft 365 and Copilot. John, could you join me up here on the stage?
Hi, Jeff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us,
Thanks for being with us and all the support. Maybe for folks, you can start by,
Sure, thanks.
I guess we can sit. No, people always don't know what to do with the chairs on the stage. Start by maybe introducing yourself and your role at British Airways,
Sure.
and then we can dive in.
Great, thank you for having us. Hi, I'm John Ware. I'm the Director of Transformation at British Airways. And at BA, we're investing $7 billion to enhance the airline. And this is broken into about 2,000 projects. We've delivered around 1,000, and we've got about 1,000 to go. The first phase has been really focused on foundational capabilities and improving our operational performance. And I think as we look forward, it's going to increasingly focus on innovation and AI.
That's great. That's great. Let's talk a little bit about first your journey to Microsoft 365. Like a lot of organizations, we partner very closely and you moved to the cloud. What's that been like for you in that shift before getting into the AI investments?
Yeah, look, I think M365 has really turned into like the backbone of our operation. Yeah. So we fly to 200 locations around the world. So we have colleagues all over the globe who often need to sort of share, communicate, and collaborate in real time. And I think the suite of tools around M365, so everything from Teams, SharePoint, have been really like a kind of pervasive and really important to us.
That's great. Yeah, we were chatting before about, we went through the journey with customers to the cloud. We learned a lot, got a lot of great feedback from you and your peers across various industries. But that took many years. Now we're in the AI era, and it's been amazing to hear the stories about how you've gotten Copilot deployed so broadly and quickly in your organization. Maybe talk a little bit about what that Copilot journey looks like, because I know talking to some folks here before the event, some are well along, some are in early stages. So what did that adoption cycle look like for you guys?
Of course. So look, we started with a Copilot being a very digitally led rollout, and we're doing a top-down cascade. So our management team got licenses, then we're doing the next layer down. And I was really failing to get traction and adoption, if I'm honest. We did a session with the Microsoft UK CEO, a Frontier Firm session. and that with our management team, and that was really pivotal. It kind of drove two things. So firstly, it changed our aspiration around Copilot and AI. So we really started thinking about driving personal productivity as well as process automation. And secondly, it pivoted us from doing this digitally led project to it being a sort of business-wide and a business-led transformation initiative.
Yeah.
We then,
I think that's been the secret ingredient in my career is if you skip that step of enrolling the business leaders and trying to understand what problem you're trying to solve, the project gets stuck. So it's great to hear that's how you approached it.
Yeah, no, I think we really appreciated that advice. And we then did a 3-month trial where we wanted to test 3 things. So firstly, personal productivity.
Yeah.
Secondly, process automation through agents. And thirdly, defining a roadmap of where we go forward. In the pilot, we really focused on 2 things. So one is making it people-led. So we did a big comms campaign of Copilot as your digital sidekick. We did a lot of capability building. But secondly, when we deployed our first set of licenses, we deployed them on a value basis and on a deep basis. So we tried to pick teams where we saw value rather than a fragmented set of individuals. We then really focused on those teams and driving adoption and getting agents deployed. And then at the end of the 3 months, we found we had a 99% adoption rate. Colleagues.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We were chatting before. I always try to build products that have 100% adoption, but the reality is many of these tools get to 70 and 80, and the last 20%, let alone the last 10 or 5 is hard. Getting to 99% is phenomenal. Congratulations.
Well, no, look, thank you. But I think there's 2 things that really worked quite well on this. So one was the people-led angle. We set up a community on Viva Engage where people were sharing tips. People were saying that it was saving them, 5 hours a week on average, and there were some colleagues who were saving 10+ hours. Wow. And I think that just created this grassroots movement of people wanting to adopt this tool for it to take away mundane tasks from them. So it was less a top-down push, and it sort of pivoted to being bottom-up. And I think that's what really drove the adoption.
Yeah.
So as well as the 99% adoption, we trained 200 champions, people saving 5 hours a week, and we got about 34 agents live, which were saving hundreds of thousands of manual work as well. So we came out of the pilot with, this sort of groundswell that we wanted to expand it.
That's great. Yeah, I know like us, you're obsessed about your customers and their satisfaction. Maybe you could close with one of the ways where British Airways is using AI to change your customer experience.
Yeah, so I think one of the really exciting areas is, firstly, our service is still very manually driven, and I think technology is there to enable and enhance that service. I think what's really exciting is we're starting to use AI and machine learning, particularly to help predict delays and help minimize disruption for our customers. And I think that's hopefully one of the things that customers are seeing as we've improved our on-time performance by 20% over the last couple of years.
That's phenomenal. And I know all of us who travel regularly are very grateful for the work you all do, and thank you. And John, thanks so much for all your support, sharing your story. I really appreciate the work of you and your team. And in addition, when we get a chance to talk to leaders like you, we talk about the value that you're receiving. But one of the things that I'm particularly grateful for in our partnership is we build trust, and you're very frank with us about where we need to do better. Governance, development tools, user experience. So thank you for the feedback. When you reach 99% of employee base, people have a lot of feedback on places we can do better, and we're very grateful for that. Thank you.
Likewise, thanks for the support.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, John.
Cheers.
Thanks so much. Yeah, John, again, thank you. It really hits home the point that I tried to make at the beginning, where leaders of complex, sophisticated organizations like BA with lots of challenges in their industry have to improve productivity, but they can't do it just pushing people to work harder. They need them to work smarter. And it's so great to hear 99% of the employees are adopting these technologies. So just to wrap up, the 6 areas where AI Copilot is, I think, unique and valuable. First, it grounds on your data safely and securely in a deeper way. Second, it integrates into the applications. We showed that, Excel, Teams, et cetera. Third, we're using the very latest models and fine-tuning approach between our special relationship with OpenAI, our own R&D, support for other partners like Anthropic. We're going to be pushing the forefront of AI capabilities. Fourth, we are very much out in front. We're learning a lot by being out in front on bringing multi-user, multi-agent collaboration natively in the tools that people use for chats, channels, and meetings and teams. Fifth, critically, we're giving you the control plane. Again, we've learned from our previous generations of tools how important that is, and so Agent 365 and that control plane is essential. And last, backed by enterprise security and compliance. Lot of other talks this week at this event. If there's one session I'd really highlight for all of you is somebody who's not had a chance to participate in this event. Jamie Teven, my colleague, is giving a keynote on AI and how it is evolving into collaboration. She's our chief scientist for Microsoft 365, an incredibly deep technical leader, but also a lot of depth of insight on how people work together in the real world. And so I strongly encourage you to put this one on your calendar. And so with that, thank you so much for joining us at ESPC. Thanks for all the support and feedback, and enjoy the week.